Hi, I'm Meel Vignetting, and you're watching the Channa 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 podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my podcast. We have a very special guest today joining all the way from South Africa. We got Meel Vignetting joining the podcast. Hi Meel.
Hi, how's it going?
So how's this morning in South Africa?
It's very cold and quiet, actually, for a
Right.
change.
So which part of South Africa are you? Can you tell a little bit about where you are?
I am based in Pretoria, basically Gauteng. So it's right next to Joburg, which is everyone knows Johannesburg better than Pretoria, I guess.
Right. So
Yeah, yeah.
so Meel, the I actually didn't know until 2020 that there was, there was a big rock scene, metal scene in South Africa. And just
Oh, yeah.
discovered it. Yeah, I just discovered it because of the pandemic, right? It's like funny. I never knew that I knew like couple of band names, but I didn't know that there was a
Yeah.
very big scene. Uh, can you tell me a little bit about how was the last 2 years, like, the pandemic and lockdowns and everything? How was it for you?
For me personally, it was actually quite great because my day job at that stage was in hospitality. So
Right.
as you can imagine, we didn't have any business or anything to do. So I was fortunate enough to be able to kind of still work from home because I did like marketing and sales and stuff. So we were still able to like do some form of something. But I
Hmm.
had a lot of free time on my hands, and that actually got me to spend more time in my music and art and stuff like that. So it was a positive for me, even though I wasn't like earning as much as I was when I was working, but I had time at home where I could just like, write songs and practice a bit more on my guitar and stuff, which you don't always get time to do that if you have a day job. So yeah, it was really nice for me, and so the whole meal vignetting project kind of formed in lockdown. So I
Hmm.
was a solo artist before, and then I just decided in lockdown, you know what, maybe it's time to record a few of my original songs. And yeah, so we did that in my living room. So yeah, the recordings that you can hear on the streaming platforms and stuff, that was all recorded in my living room, and the drums are programmed and stuff like that. So it's not as authentic as I would like it to be. But now that things are turning back to normal, we can actually go into studio and do like proper drum takes and proper like guitar takes and stuff, vocal takes and so forth.
Right. So one of the main thing that got affected is the live music scene, right? So how is it now? Is it back?
It is incredible now. It's crazy. So I have a production company as well, and we're very fortunate to work with like a lot of South African artists, and it's crazy. I feel like before lockdown there was like a lot of musicians around, and I think lockdown just forced a lot of people to just pick up an instrument and learn,
Hmm.
because the scene has grown so much. And I was saying to my one friend the other night, we went to open mic nights. I used to go a lot before lockdown, and then I didn't go a lot lately. And when I got there on Monday, I was like, yes, I don't know any of the musicians here, which is a good thing for me
Right.
because everyone that I was used to seeing at open mic has kind of progressed and become like working musicians instead of like going to open mic to find gigs and stuff like that. And there's like a whole new crowd now, and it means like people are leveling up, which is great. So I think if anything, in South Africa in the music scene, lockdown has really like made musicians very persistent, which is
Right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and also for me personally, like I have a like an I built like an extra appreciation for it because it was missing for like 2 years. And then when I see now
Absolutely.
gigs, I really want to go, even if it's just the up and coming band which is not popular. I would just still go and watch. I would even just go and
Exactly.
watch a person basking on the road, because it's like, it was missing, right? But I felt
Yeah.
something. But I felt something when I went to the gigs, when the live
Yeah.
music started. It felt awkward sometimes, like, because we didn't know, like, whether we should hug or whether we should shake hands or whether we should do fist
Yeah.
bumps. Everybody's like, don't know what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's still sometimes a bit odd. I don't know about you guys, but we actually just recently they dropped the like we don't have to wear masks in public anymore.
Right.
And I described it to my friend the other day, like going into the shop without a mask kind of felt like the first time I was legally allowed to drive a car on the road without having someone in the car. You
Right.
know, it's scary but liberating. And but I think there's still a lot of like uncertainty, you know, because we were all like, then we're out, then we're back in, then we're out, then we're back in, you know. And I think the whole lockdown thing kind of screwed with our heads a little bit, but it's really nice to feel how it's like easing back into normal, you know.
Right. The trick I do is, because we still have to wear a mask indoors, right? So what I
Oh,
do is, but you don't have to wear it if you're drinking or eating. So I always like have a drink on my hand, so I don't have to wear it.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Oh man, I don't get that concept. I actually flew to Cape Town a while ago, and it's so weird because for a long time they didn't serve food on the airplanes,
Right.
and but then they started bringing it back. But you have to wear your mask. But then when they give you the food, then you're allowed to take off your mask quickly and eat, and then put it back on. And I was like, really, you know. And it's not like they didn't have like one seat open, one seat filled. It was literally packed. The plane was
Right.
packed, you know. And it's things like that that kind of, you know, screwed with our heads. I'm sure we were all thinking like, what the hell is this?
Right. So, as I said earlier, so I discovered the South African, the music scene, like in accident. Like, somebody reached out to me, and then,
Yeah.
one band. I talked to one band, and then I think the last band I talked to, Fourth Sun South.
Oh, funny
Yeah.
story. I actually joined the band.
When did you join the Peter's band?
um, it's been probably like two or 3 months now. I've been with North and
Wow.
South as a second vocalist. Yeah.
Right. I actually love that their song. I've been listening to that Tomorrow's Better, the one that they did with Melissa Osborne.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So you're part of the Fourth Sun South as well now, huh?
Yes. So Peter always wanted to bring in like a female vocalist, and I think Melissa unfortunately was too busy to join the band entirely. So he approached me, and I was like, yes, please, because I love Full Sun South, and Peter is such an amazing musician. So yeah, it's a privilege to be part of the band. It's really awesome.
Right. So, Neil, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood, and what's your earliest memory of music?
Oh man. So I've always been like, you know, I enjoy singing and stuff. So since like little, my mom said I was always like singing like everything. I still do that. I don't really speak, I sing. um, but yeah, so my uncle passed away and he left us some money, like for me and my sister. And so I wanted to do ice skating, figure skating,
Mm.
and my sister got a guitar. And then when I saw the guitar, I think I was like 6 years old by then, and I was like, oh man, why didn't I pick a guitar? So yeah, but my sister was cool. She like lent me her guitar and stuff. So and she had all these books, so I just kind of figured it out on my own. And yeah, the rest is history. I've been playing guitar since six, self-taught. and singing's just always been a thing. I never really thought that I could sing until I think it was like a school camp or something, and we actually did like a friend of mine joined me on guitar, and we did a Cranberry song, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, you can sing!" And I think that's when I realized, like, okay, I like performing, I love to sing, I love to play guitar. Maybe I can do something with this. Yeah, so
Right.
that's where it all started for me. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, like what sort of music did you listen to, or you remember?
um that's funny. So my mom was like into pop music, and my dad was like into rock and metal and stuff. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm not dissing any genres, but I think it's a personal preference. To me, pop music was just always very like shallow and empty, where I found that rock music was like, wow, there's actually like passion, and like you can feel in the guitar solo, you feel the passion, and the lyrics and everything, was just something that really moved me, where pop music was just like whatever. So yeah, that's fortunate. My dad was like, he listened to really cool music and stuff. So my eldest sister as well, um she turned out to be a DJ now, though. She still likes rock music and stuff, but she got the best of both worlds. So she liked the pop and the rock. So but yeah, she introduced me to the Cranberries, which
Mm.
is the biggest influence in my music. And she introduced me to Paul Jam, Nirvana, stuff like that, and the 90s grunge and alternative and rock scene was, that's what completely shaped me. That's my biggest influence as well in my writing and music comes from that era. So yeah.
Yeah, and listening to your songs, I mean, it was like kind of obvious, like there's so much similarity between your voice and Dolores' voice from Cranberries, right? Do you remember when somebody like compared that your voice to her? When did that
Oh
happen?
man,
Like,
yeah. Definitely in high school, like the kids that didn't know my name used to call me the girl that sings like Cranberries. So yeah, it was bad. It was bad when I was younger, because I mean I was so infatuated with Dolores, like I literally can copycat her. And
mm,
it's only in like later high school years where I was like, okay, wait a minute, like I need to be unique, I need to be my own person. So I've been kind of trying to veer away from that, but you can very distinctly hear the influence in my vocals. But I'm trying to focus a bit more on being unique. So um, I have a lot of like male vocalists that influence me as well, and I'm trying to broaden my range. And by doing that, I think I've kind of developed a tone, if you can put it that way, that I
right.
really am comfortable with now, and I can feel like that's me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, like listening to your songs and having that thought, and then I just went to my collection and I was just like took this out because I think I want to listen to them. One thing is
I did
actually,
saw your photo on Instagram. I was like, oh,
yeah,
those are the best albums.
because there is this special connection to me, especially the artist from Ireland. Like I went to Dublin. I had a chance to go to Dublin, and then I went to one of the studios. I think it's called Temple Street Studios. That's one of
Yeah.
the Cranberries recorded their album there, and I was able
Oh
to like
man.
go into that studio, like do the tour and stuff. So I felt so like I have like a special connection with the bands from the island, like
Yeah,
YouTube's, the Scripts. There's so many bands, right? There's so many great Irish bands, and Cranberries is one
I
of them.
know.
So
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. No, they're amazing, honestly. And what I really love about Dolores is, she was never a girl that used her, like being a woman to gain anything. She was always like, this is who I am, take it or leave it, and she was just like real and raw, and I
mm,
absolutely loved that about her. It was, yeah, no, she's incredible.
right. So you mentioned that even before this Meel thing started, that you actually was a solo, like a solo artist. So can you tell me a little bit about that journey?
So meal, that meal is my nickname. So meal is like an Afrikaans word for cake flour, basically.
Mm,
And when I was in primary school, we had this little band thing, but it was literally just a bunch of kids. We all played guitar. We all played the same thing. We didn't even know better. So, and we were like, we all have to have these nicknames. So that's where I got that meal, because I'm actually naturally blonde and I'm very
mm.
pale skinned. So that's the whole meal cake
Meel.
flour connection thing. And so yeah, vignetting is just something that I added because it's a photography term, which basically means no borders. Like it
Right.
fades the border out. So and I just feel like I can relate to that in my music, because there, to music and art, there is no borders, and um, as long as it's like creative and comes from the right place, you can't really put a border on that. And I have been in and out of bands all my life and everything. And at a stage, I just, I got tired of being in a band and then we break up, and then starting a new band and breaking up. And so I did the solo thing and I performed under Meel Vignetting. And then I started a band again, and then that didn't work out. And I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm not getting any younger. I'm gonna do a band under Meel Vignetting, and then whoever sticks around, sticks around. Whoever goes, goes. And that's what I did in lockdown. I gathered like a bunch of friends and we were like, let's jam and let's record and stuff. And we've already had a bunch of member changes, not because of any like beef or fights or
Mm,
anything. It just, life happens and people have things to do and move on. And yeah, so I think this really works for me, because now I can just, perform under my name and not have to worry about breaking up again and fighting over who wrote what song and stuff like that, So yeah, I write the music and the band puts in their parts, and yeah, that's it works for me.
right. So who is the current lineup?
So currently it's obviously me. And then Ruan Mostert is on lead guitar, and then we've got Zadelhoff on bass guitar, Reino on drums, and we have another member, Wesley. But yeah, he just got married and went on honeymoon, and he's fixing up his house and everything. So he hasn't been actively involved in the band, but yeah, so we've got three guitars. I just do rhythm guitar, but I would love to not play guitar at all and just like freak out on stage.
Right.
Yeah, so but it's nice. It's a nice vibe, like full guitars and like a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, so, Meel, can you tell me a little bit about the South African scene? Because, as I said, I discovered it late. Uh, I mean, what are the other bands that you like, would recommend, or you really like from the scene?
Oh man, there's so many. There's so many. It's big with this production company. I mean, we have a standing thing with a venue where we do sound and lights over weekends, and
Right.
I can't tell you the amount of talent in this country. It is ridiculous, honestly. And there's almost every weekend, I'm like mind blown with what I saw. And there's so many bands to mention, but a few of my new absolute favorite ones is there's a band from KZN called Poster Boy.
Mm,
Um, I swear they're like Nirvana reincarnated. Honestly, it is amazing. And yes, there's such nice guys as well. And within the same genre, there's Drumfish, which is also amazing to check out. Yes, off the top of my head, Joy Club Cassidy. Cassidy is a punk band that I absolutely love, 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 love. Um, Nomadic Orchestra is an amazing band. Yes, there's so many. Honestly, I can send you like a whole list. But we've got, like, last night we did a light show for Prime Circle. I don't know if you know Prime Circle. They're quite a famous band, and they've made some waves all over the world, and it's just
Right.
incredible. Like, yes, that whole, we saw their team come in, like, rig the whole stage. The band didn't even do sound check. Like, their techies know exactly what they want, where they want it, how they want it, and they just come on stage, play their hearts out, and yes, it was incredible, incredible. Yeah.
Right. So Neil, you have a EP. I was able to listen to that in Spotify called The Journey. There are a
Yes.
few songs on that, and one of my favorite songs out of that is the song called Go.
Oh wow.
So tell me
That's
about the
amazing.
EP and also about that song.
Um, yeah, so I it's called The Journey because, I've been on a hectic journey the last couple of years, and a lot of the songs on there is quite emotional. And Go is, it comes from a relationship where, we were, like, always fighting, and it just kind of describes the fighting. And um there's, like, one specific fight that I remember that this song, like, always brings out, which is actually quite horrible because every time I perform it I have to think of that.
Right.
But it's, I feel that the instrumental part at the end is kind of just, me letting go of that, and the song, it's just like saying, like, go, it's over, it's done, just go. And yeah, so it's not as hectic to perform it because that instrumental part at the end is just always like, I just envision myself letting go of all of that rage. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, the EP, so two of the songs on the EP I wrote in lockdown. It's Empty Forever and St. Mary's. And yeah, I just, it's literally like, so Follow the Moon is about my childhood, and things that I went through growing up and dealing with that. And I always say Follow the Moon is like my song that says, like, fuck society and the system and everything, because there's so much pressure on us, like, from society, that expect this thing, and they want to conduct your life and say this is how you must do things and this is how you must live your life. And being weird is not cool. And you know wearing whatever you want to wear is not cool. You have to, like, conform to this kind of normal and stuff. And Follow the Moon is just like, you know what, fuck everything, fuck everyone. Just um the moon is authentic, be your authentic self, and just the sun will always rise again after the darkness. And the whole EP, like, everything, like, if you listen to the lyrics, it's literally just I think everyone can relate to it because it's things that people go through on a daily basis, and in life and in relationships, be it with your parents or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever. And then, yeah, just working through it and dealing with it. And yeah.
Right. Right. Now that the world is, like, opening up, things are like, as you said, the live music is started, and obviously probably you can also start, like, touring. So what's the dream, and what do you wish for, like, in the coming days or the coming months?
Yeah. So because we kind of formed the band in lockdown, we're still fairly new. So
Mm.
we're still trying to kind of get our stuff out there. We recently played in Mozambique, which was really nice, and I was very fortunate through Force and South to kind of end up there and have Meel Vignetting play there as well. And then after that, we did, like, a little trip down to KZN to play a show there. And we're busy planning shows, like, all over South Africa, and kind of do a tour. But we all have day jobs and stuff. So it's not like just, get in a bus and do like a proper tour. It unfortunately
Right.
has to happen in these little small bursts. But I enjoy that because it's nice. You get to meet other bands, other musicians, you get to meet new people. And um, it's really what I loved about, especially playing in Mozambique at this festival called Strab. Like people actually sat down and watched our show and listened to our music, because our drummer he couldn't go along, so it was like an acoustic kind of set,
Right.
and it was just nice, to see people actually listen to your music and enjoy it, and like it's such a nice thing. And when we played in KZN as well, just to see how people react to your music, and especially like if you see how musicians react to your music, that's kind of cool, So, um, but for me, the main aim with just doing music in general is to kind of touch people, like on a emotional level, because I I would like people to take something away from my music, and be able to say like, yes, the song resonates with me because I also went through something like that, and or like this guitar part resonates with me because it like awakens this kind of emotion in me, and that's what music has always been to me, and that's what I want to bring across. Like if you play a concert, give people goosebumps, like give them something to think about, and let them feel what you're feeling, kind of bring that across. And I think if as a musician we're able to do that, then I'm kind of happy. Yeah, job done.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Mozambique, and I know also there's like a huge scene in Botswana as well, right? There's so many great talent in Africa that is not discovered, right? Like the world doesn't know about, right?
Absolutely. So we were fortunate to be on like this. It's I don't want to say it's a podcast. It's not, but it's like a YouTube channel, TV channel thing called Drum People,
Hmm.
and he is such an incredible asset to South African music because he literally, like, he goes and he finds like the best of the best hidden talents, and then he gives them a platform and let them perform and talk about who they are and where they're from and stuff. And a lot of the like African music gets featured on there, and it just blows my brain, like the talent that is out there. And he's recently started traveling to like Botswana and stuff like that to like kind of get the cultures from there and the musicians from there, which is awesome. So that's something you can maybe check out as well. Drum
Right.
People. I think you'll enjoy that because it's literally all walks of life, like all genres, within South Africa and Africa. So that's really, really very cool.
Yeah, I've seen that one of those videos where you seen those Botswana cowboys, like they're like wearing like cowboys, and then they're like doing metal and rock, like blues.
I haven't seen those. I'll have to go check that out. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's a
That's pretty
famous, like a
cool.
popular video coming out of from there.
Oh my word, I'll have to check that out.
Right. So Meel, what's your message to the viewers of this video and people who's going to listen to this conversation?
um, I don't know. I always suck with messages. So, um, yeah, I hope if whoever listens to our music, I really hope that you enjoy it, and yeah, that you can take something from it, and you know support small bands, as you would support like the bigger bands. um I think that's a big thing. Well, that we find that in South Africa. I don't know if it's the same anywhere else, but there's a very big gap between up and coming artists and the made artist.
Mm,
It's so difficult to get from here to there because there's no platform in between. There's no People don't want to really sign the little bands because
mm,
they don't really have a following. Or I mean, I've had that a lot where people say to me, I can't book you because you don't have a big following. And I think I do understand it from a venue or events coordinating like side, but how is a band supposed to make it if you don't give them a shot?
Right.
So I think if I can get a message across to anyone, it's, give the little guys a shot. You might be surprised.
Yeah. I think I've
Yeah.
been also saying that because, for example, Beatles was a local band in Liverpool, right? Before they became international band, right? So you have to
Yeah.
support especially support your local bands, and the so
Yeah.
because otherwise, as you said, there's no platform for them to become that level, right? Especially nowadays, because everything is so dependent on, like, social media and number of followers and all that, right?
Yeah, it's hectic, and I mean, to keep up like a presence on social media is hard work,
Mm,
honestly. And the bigger bands can afford to pay someone to do that for them, but for me, I mean, I have a day job, and I have like my own company, and then I have two
right,
bands. I have two kids as well. I have two boys.
right,
So for me to juggle all of that and then still manage like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like everything, it's a lot. And I honestly, I don't want to spend like my entire day on my phone documenting everything I do to please
right,
society, if you know what I'm saying, because that's what's expected. Like you have to have this presence online.
right,
And but how about like when do we get to live in the moment? When do we get to, so you go to a concert, but everyone's like videoing the concert and you're like focused on, am I getting the right angle? But you're missing the whole concert, And yeah, that's a sad thing for me. So life has become digital, sadly. And I mean it's great because I mean you and I can communicate now, but yeah, it should be in moderation, if you know what I'm
right,
saying.
right, right.
Yeah,
Actually, I have a rule. When I go to concerts, I take one song, I record one song. After that, I put my phone on the pocket and just enjoy, because I'm not going the concerts just to share for other people, right? I'm going it for myself. So I should enjoy that,
exactly.
not worry
Exactly.
about how others going to see the video and all that. So,
Yeah. No, it's like I lived in England for a while,
mm,
like in like 2004, 5, and 6. And that's literally when like the phones that could like record videos and stuff just came out.
right,
So we went to see Foo Fighters, and I was like videoing because it's now this new thing, and I'm like videoing the whole freaking concert, not really paying attention to the concerts, because wow, my phone can take videos, and I'm filming Foo Fighters.
right.
And then I think a month or two later, I lost my phone, and then I didn't even have the videos anymore.
Actually, that exact thing happened to me. Like, Slayer is like my most favorite, one of my favorite bands, right? The first time I saw
Yeah.
Slayer, I was like in the barricades. I was taking all the videos, photos, and I had like photos with like shaking hands of them. And then at end
Yeah.
of the concert, somebody snatched my phone. So I don't have single photo from that concert.
Oh man, yes, that's crazy. Oh, that's
but but
so
but
bad.
that gave me a very good lesson, actually. So to enjoy the moment rather than focusing too much on the
Yeah,
photos and the videos.
exactly. I mean, we all do it. Like Incubus is one of my favorite bands, and when we saw them live, like I also took a bunch of videos. But it's more we all do it because it's like, oh, this moment,
Yeah,
you want to capture this moment, but we forget that, we capture the moment
right.
here and here. So, yeah.
So Meel, anybody you want to shout out to?
Um, wow, my band, like, ugh, I'm so grateful. Like, we played a show on Friday night, and life has been hectic, and so the guys in my band, they don't only just play for me, they have their own projects as well. Our bassist is like, he's super busy with a bunch of um, projects, but yeah, they all put in so much effort, and we're really getting very tight, and yeah, I'm just so grateful to have them on stage with me and for the parts that they bring to the band and the music and everything. And yeah, I just want to give a massive, massive shout out to them and say thank you for everything and putting up with my craziness. Yeah, it's awesome. I love them to bits.
Right. I also want to like shout out to Dasi Clayton for setting up us on this because
Yes.
I, he has introduced me to a lot of great bands like you.
Oh, cool. Shame. Yeah, he's awesome. Like, Dazzy has been amazing. I actually met him through, like, he booked a gig for Force on South. And then that's how we kind of met. And I asked him to please just help me out with a little bit of PR stuff. And he has been fantastic. So, massive, massive shout out to him as well, because without him, I couldn't have done all of these amazing things that's been happening for our band now. So,
Right. So Neil, if whoever is going to watch this video and listen to this conversation, if they want to check out, your band, what's the best way to check you out? Where can they listen to your music?
So we're on all the major streaming platforms, like Spotify, iMusic, Deezer, YouTube. And then we're on Facebook, Instagram. I'd say our Instagram is probably the most active account. It's the easiest to just post quickly. So, but yeah, no, they can find us everywhere. We've got 2 music videos out on YouTube as well. And we're busy with a third music video that will be released soon. So that's exciting stuff. And then in August, we're going to start recording new music as well. So that's something to look forward to as well.
Right. So, Neil,
Yeah.
thanks for joining this conversation. I really enjoy talking to you, and all the
Thanks
best
for having me.
with your plans.
Thank you so much. It was really, really nice to meet you. And thank you for what you do for the music industry, man. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Neil. We'll talk again when you have new music. Please come again on the podcast. We can
Awesome.
talk about your new music. Have a great day ahead.
Great stuff. Thank you. Thanks, you too. Okay.
Thank you.